Hi everyone, a very warm welcome to all of you to this episode of All Things Lean with your host Matulika Rajahan. In our last episode, we talked about Dieter Ram's 10 timeless commandments for good design. In today's episode, we will talk about the 7 factors that influence user experience. User experience is critical to the success or failure of a product in the market. But what do we mean by UX? All too often, UX is confused with usability, which describes to some extent how easy a product is to use, and it is true that UX as a discipline began with usability. However, UX has grown to accommodate more than just usability, and it is important to pay attention to all the facets of the user experience in order to deliver successful products to the market. There are 7 factors that describe user experience, according to Peter Morville, a pioneer in the UX field who has written several best selling books and advises many Fortune 500 companies on UX. According to him, the 7 factors are useful, usable, findable, credible, desirable, accessible, and valuable. Now let's take a look at each of these factors in turn and what it makes for the overall user experience. If a product isn't useful to someone, why would you want to bring it to market? If it has no purpose, it is unlikely to be able to compete for attention alongside a market full of purposeful and useful products. It's worth noting that useful is in the eye of the beholder, and that things can be deemed useful if they deliver a non-practical benefit, such as fun or aesthetic appeal. Thus, a computer game or a sculpture may be deemed useful even if they do not enable a user to accomplish a goal that others find meaningful. Usability is concerned with enabling users to effectively and efficiently achieve their end objectives with the product. A computer game which requires 3 sets of control pads is unlikely to be usable as people, for the time being at least, only tend to have 2 hands. Products can succeed if they are not usable, but they are less likely to do so. Poor usability is often associated with the very first generation of a product. Think the first generation of MP3 players, which lost their market share to the more usable iPod when it was launched. The iPod wasn't the first MP3 player, but it was the first truly usable MP3 player. Findable refers to the idea that the product must be easy to find, and in the instance of digital information and products, the content within them must be easy to find too. If you cannot find a product, you are not going to buy it. And that is true for all potential users of that product. If you picked up a newspaper and all the stories within it were allocated page space at random rather than being organized into sections such as sports, entertainment, business, etc., you would probably find reading newspaper a very frustrating experience. Findability is vital to user experience of many products. Randall Terry said, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." Today's users aren't going to give you a second chance to fool them. There are plenty of options in nearly every field for them to choose a credible product provider. Credibility thus relates to the ability of the user to trust in the product they have provided. Not just that it does the job that it's supposed to do, but that it will last for a reasonable amount of time and the information provided with it is accurate and fit for purpose. It is nearly impossible to deliver a user experience if the user thinks the product creator is lying, clown with bad intentions, and they take their business somewhere else instead. Skoda and Porsche both make cars. They are to some extent both useful, usable, findable, accessible, credible, and valuable. But Porsche is much more desirable than Skoda. This is not to say that Skoda is undesirable. They have sold a lot of cars under the brand. But given a choice of a new Porsche or Skoda for free, most people will opt for the Porsche. Desirability is conveyed in design through branding, image, identity, aesthetics, and emotional design. The more desirable a product is, the more likely it is that the user who has it will brag about it and create a desire in the other users. Sadly, accessibility often gets lost in the mix when creating user experiences. Accessibility is about providing an experience which can be accessed by users of a full range of abilities. This includes those who are disabled in some respect, such as hearing loss, impaired vision, motion impaired, or learning impaired. Design for accessibility is often seen by companies as a waste of money because the impression is that people with disabilities make up a small segment of the population. In fact, in the United States, at least 19% of people have a disability according to the census data, and it is likely that this number is higher in less developed nations. That is, 1 in 5 people in the audience for your product that may not be able to use it if it is not accessible, or 20% of the total market. It is also worth remembering that when you design for accessibility, you will often find that you create products that are easier for everyone to use, not just those with disabilities. Don't neglect accessibility in the user experience. Finally, accessible design is now a legal obligation in many jurisdictions, including the European Union, and failure to deliver it may result in fines. Sadly, this obligation is not being enforced as often as it should be. Finally, the product must deliver value. It must deliver value to the business which creates it and to the user who buys or uses it. Without value, it is likely that any initial success of a product will eventually be undermined. Designers should bear in mind that value is one of the key influences on purchasing decision. $100 product that solves a $10,000 problem is one that is likely to succeed. And a $10,000 product that solves a $100 problem is much less likely to do so. To recap, the success of a product depends on more than utility and usability alone. Products which are usable, useful, findable, accessible, credible, valuable, and desirable are much more likely to succeed in the marketplace. With this, we come to an end to this edition of All Things Lean. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment in the comment section on what you'd like to hear more. Until next time, this is your host, Madhulika Rajahan, signing off. Have a wonderful day ahead.